Stay awake, don't you fall asleep. Never fall for a fall asleep. Stay awake, don't you fall asleep. Back in my grizzly, back in my bag. Never backpedaling, put my back to the past. My mind is a canvas, let my words be attacked. For a while I was silent, so now for attack. Though came back up like advice from a parent. My pen bleeds on past cause the goal is apparent. I hear all these chumps, they just mimic like parrots. But I see an iPhone, not talking about Paris. Snakes in the grass, hard to seem slither back cause they better. Jealous of your vigor, try to block. Alright y'all, welcome.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Say it again.
Happy New Year, everyone. We're so splendid to be here on this Friday evening.
Oh, sorry, it's been a while since the board's been in use. Things are going a little wacky, but we apologize, but we're going to have some fun. Welcome to the very, very first show of 2019. Hopefully everyone brought in the year properly, good, safe. I guess I should have started with that. How did you bring your New Year's in?
Me, I stayed home. I was with my children. I was going to go out, but I was so glad that it rained because the rain made me sit down somewhere and not do nothing.
Where are you going to go?
I was going to go to Dougie and Renee. They have a party every year. They live in Inglewood. I was going to slide through there and then maybe hit up one of the local bars, but I don't do that anymore like I used to. So I had my little Bel Air Gold and this isn't bad.
Okay, no problem. It was good.
I came into the New Year celibate. I'm a virgin still. It's a weekend and I'm a virgin.
She wants to start early in 2019.
It's already been 4 days and I haven't had any yet.
Yeah,
I didn't have no New Year's.
We ain't believing that shit, so
it's the truth. Put that I'm telling y'all.
Oh, okay, I mean, you said it's the truth. We just telling you we ain't trying to believe it.
Because if it wasn't, I'd be like, oh. I had a good New Year's. I didn't have
nothing wrong with that.
No, it's all right.
It's good.
Sometimes you rest.
All right.
As long as those cobwebs don't get down there, we good.
That's your only free will for the night. We know you ain't going. I'll give you about the end of next week.
I'm gonna. I've
you see her face?
Yeah, I'm gonna work it out. I don't have any.
She's stuttering.
I can't lie and say I don't have any prospects. I don't have a lot, but I'll figure it out.
We know it's probably major. All right, y'all. Welcome to Chics and Flics. We have one story for you tonight, but it's a major one. I don't know if it's disturbing. You know how to actually call it or put it. We want to talk about, obviously, R. Kelly's in the news heavy now. So we're going to start with these lovely ladies right here.
Yeah, I'm blocking one.
Talk about that. Do you have any opinion? Because we have video too. We'll get into the video. But do you have any opinions on it so far? Or, like, before we go deep into the story?
Me?
Yes.
I always have an opinion. That's why I have a show. It's called Chics and Flics. I mean, I can't sit home and talk. They don't want to hear me. So you come and you talk with me and to me, and I really feel like I'm somebody with a good frame of mind and opinions. So yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm here to talk.
Okay.
So, do I have an opinion about the ladies? The biggest question probably is why did it take so long, as is the case in many other instances in this Me Too movement era. And I do not want to take anything away from their pain. If you've never been through something, it doesn't seem as bad, or, if you weren't there. When you hear it sometimes, and there's always more than one side to a story. Okay, so as journalists and media reporters and news hosts and everything that we do here, we have to be fair. We're supposed to be really non-biased and neutral.
Right.
So let's look at all the different angles. So for one, we're going to start with me. I'm going to start with R. Kelly. All right. It's very obvious that he has a sickness. It's a demon that he has. The demon is called control. That's his demon. All right, so we all have different demons, things that make us weak. And we know that R. Kelly has been forever attracted to young women, even minors. That's a sickness. That is something that you shouldn't be fantasizing about a little girl. Obviously something's wrong. But when you are able to get away with it for so long, we can no longer just blame R. Kelly. Because if his sickness has never caused him any harm, any repercussions, any consequences, then you begin to think it's okay. A sick person, like they say, people who are insane don't necessarily know they're insane. Because if they knew they were insane, they wouldn't probably do the things they do. Except that along with that comes addiction and chemical imbalances and all those things that make up a child molester, a rapist. There's kids that molest their little brothers and sisters and when they're kids. So we don't even know how far back this goes for R. Kelly.
Good point. Good point.
And the funny thing is that people are posting on Facebook about... Yeah, and some of the guys, some of the guys I know that are putting up, they're talking about, the Teaneck, Inglewood, Hackensack area where the older guys from the other towns used to come and check out the girls from the other towns. So if you're from Hackensack, you come to Teaneck to check out the girls, Inglewood. Well, I must say, a lot of people came to Teaneck. I mean, I don't know who was checking for the Hackensack girls or the Inglewood girls, but, I mean, they was definitely checking for the Teaneck girls. That's not a stab at anyone. I got friends in Hackensack.
It looked like it was a stab.
But I'm just saying, it just was like that. I don't know. So, I know what it really was. They thought we were rich, and we really weren't rich, but there's no projects in Teaneck, there's projects in Hackensack, there's projects in Inglewood. They're going to be lined up outside ready to... I can fight still. So, if y'all want to jump me, just let me know so I can be prepared. But, it's funny that the drug dealers from Harlem used to come over and pick up girls in their new fancy cars, and they were older than them, not us. They were older than them. And, now it was okay back then. So we have to find the line, when we can't, that's what I'm saying, we're not unbiased. It's okay for this person, but it's not okay for that person. You know what I mean? So right now, I'm just going to say, because I haven't let you talk yet. Right now, what I'm going to say is that the different eras really have a lot to do with it. Because Richard Dawson used to kiss women on the lips on the Family Feud. Every single woman, he kissed her on the lips. It was okay then. He was.
He was a perv.
But it was okay. You can never do that now. You can never do that now. You don't see Steve Harvey kissing everybody on the lips.
I think his new wife would probably kill him. You know how she got him, so
Right.
I say this. You mentioned the Me Too movement. I don't know if this is on that level.
Right.
And the reason why I say that, I'm not saying that, this man, infatuation with younger women or infatuation with control isn't like, a super bad thing. But I'm just saying it from this standpoint where you're actually looking at the overall picture and, we go deep into the fact that money's involved. And,
yes, money is a big deal.
Money gets involved in the fact that you did have some parents that were actually signing their fucking daughters over.
Right.
So if we're going to attack him, why are we not mentioning the parents?
Mm-hmm.
And with the whole him marrying Aaliyah and, the family finally getting a hold of it and then actually having everything annulled and stuff like that. But they ain't say, okay, we're not married anymore, but he was still busting her ass. So it's just more lines of like, where's the parents in this? Like, I was the first one to say, people saying, poor Bill Cosby. He was giving them girls pills. They knew they were taking it, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, why isn't his wife in prison with him? You can't tell me 30, 40 years Camille wasn't sitting there giving chicks Skittles and shit, blue or red pills too. So if we're going to talk about the whole situation, we need to add the parents into it. And a lot of this stuff, obviously these young ladies got finances, signed disclosures and all this other stuff. And somehow Lifetime got these young ladies to come forward for whatever reason now.
And for how much money?
They probably gave me hit off too, but hey, rape and all that stuff is wrong. It definitely is. But again, I'm not seeing any really like cases. The one case that came forward was that super underage young lady that he pretty much escaped. And
they settled out of court.
They settled out of court. Unfortunately, money's at the tip of the iceberg. I'm looking at all these young ladies and this documentary is gonna freaking go on forever. He's in the process of trying to sue him now. He tried to stop them from actually putting it out, but I think Lifetime lawyers is probably a lot bigger than your lawyers. But we'll see. But I'm not just putting the blame on him. I gotta say with the young ladies too. I mean, a lot of these cases are 20 years later.
Right.
I mean, yes, traumatized, understand you go through different things and different situations and you feel some type of way, but when is it the fact that you come forward if you felt that you were violated like that?
Yeah, see, that's what I said. It's never happened to me. Because I feel like I would have either stabbed him with a pin in his neck.
Fuck a pin.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Like I grabbed
we grabbing something, close tables, chairs, lamp, light bulbs.
But because it's never happened to me before, I can't. Because you know what? A lot of the control is mental. Even though it's a physical act, it is mental control. It's like brainwashing. So you take your time, and men do it every day. To girls, to women. Men that get in relationships with women, they mentally connect with us first. And then by the time we realize that he's full of it and he's deceitful and all of that, he has already have us believing that he loves us, that he's not going to hurt us, and that if he did hurt us, he made a mistake and he's not going to do it again. So you know what I mean?
You're saying it's more, could it also be the fact that, okay, he is R. Kelly. I mean, he's this iconic figure. He's talented. He's far from ugly. He's tall.
When people with money walk into a room full of people with no money, power comes right in that room.
Okay.
When you see somebody, a celebrity, walk into a room, their whole aura is money, power, respect, all of it. And you feel like it's inferior sometimes. I mean, it's like, I don't want to compare this to the Bible, but it's just like,
I tell people
touching the hem of his garment. You know what I mean? That's what it's like. It's like, oh my goodness, yeah.
That's R. Kelly.
He's going to really fall in love with me. I'm going to be different.
Well, I always say that is true. And, men and women, for some reason, think that whatever they have is better or more special than what the last person had. But I think, I always tell people, I think it's the conversation that attracts a person more. The fact that, wow, this person really listened to me. He related to me.
That's the game.
You get them in, you trap them, and then the next thing you know, you look up and maybe that's like months, days, weeks, years later. And you're like, holy shit.
That's right. I'm sure he read the book How to Be a Mac. Have you read that?
Everyone's pretty much read that.
Exactly.
I just think I also think, I forgot what's the word you use. We would say swag.
Right.
Other people would say charisma and things like that. I think he has it.
He definitely
has that, because not everyone could just step into a room and depending on, you know, what culture is in there, what color, but you can relate to whoever's there because you know how to proper and then what's good and be able to talk to whoever needs to be conversed with.
I mean, to be honest, before all this story about him, you know, you could be in your room and as a girl, and you hear that, my mind is telling me no. And you're just like, yeah. You know what I mean? That he has that. Definitely. So that's a part, you know, that's how he's able to persuade, you know, influence. But when celebrities get to that point of no return is kind of when you like, wow, he's really a little off. Like, he's really been out of touch with reality for so long.
So you think it's some of the sense where you actually believe what people are saying, you're this
you start
godly
believing
figure.
your own lies and your own, you know, what people are telling you about yourself and then you feel like you're never nobody can touch you. Like your reign will never end. Especially
when you beat a court case. You know what I mean? You start to, you know, just like, you know, someone involved in something and you got away scot-free, stab, shot, or, you know, someone trying to come at you lawfully and you beat the case.
Right.
You know, next thing you know, your chest get broader and you feel a little stronger and like I'm untouchable.
Exactly.
I can't be touched. We got 2 videos. I want to play these 2 videos and then we're going to converse some more. Because, you know, when you look at it from the outside, but when you can actually kind of like see the individuals and the way they're discussing what they went through, how they went through. Just a little snippet or whatever, but we're going to play that and we're going to be right back.
Robert didn't allow pretty much anyone to speak to me. I'm just walking around, hey, everybody, hey. And then I'm just like, what's going on? Why aren't these people speaking back? Come to find out, they couldn't speak to me. He wouldn't let them. That's not me, because I'm going to speak to everybody and anybody and whoever I want to speak to. So when I learned that, I would go out of my way to speak to people just to tick him off, because I'm just like, look, you can't tell me what I can and cannot do. I'm not that girl. I'm not that chick. You can't stifle me. But I didn't know that a bomb was coming.
I felt special. I actually thought that I was his girlfriend. You know, I was living up there at that point. We were together all the time. You know, I had no reason to question that we weren't. Life in the studio was kind of boring for the most part. You really couldn't have much interaction other than, well, I couldn't have much interaction with anyone other than Robert. At that time, I didn't know what a runner was. But later on, I realized it was just, you know, the people that work at the studio, and they pretty much like run errands. My mom would call the studio. The runners would actually let Robert know that I had a phone call, and then he would let them know to like transfer their call to me. I do know that there were times where when she would get through and she'd be upset and saying she couldn't contact me and things like that. So it very well could have been times where she was calling and they weren't allowed to put me through. One time, one of his friends came to the studio and he's speaking to everyone, and just a normal reaction, you speak back. Rob would get upset and say, you're not supposed to speak to them. You don't speak to anybody. You just look straight forward. If they speak to you, you don't say anything. Pretty early on, he kind of introduced you to everything that he was into. It was instructed to call him daddy during sex, but it went from that to pretty much all the time he'd be daddy. The first time Robert had me do sexual acts with him and another female, he actually told me it was going to be his first time and he wanted to do it with me. He would say things like, well, you know, if you love me, you won't try to change me. You know, if you love me, you'll accept me how I am. You know, if you love me, you'll do these things for me. So those would be the little pep talks he would give me. Robert would film our sex acts sometimes. He would never ask me if it was okay to be filmed, but he never hit the camera or anything like that. Once we did the threesome, it became more frequent. Then he started introducing me to other young women.
All right. When you watch, it's like a little disturbing and chilling.
Right.
When you when you hear the young lady speak about it, and you actually talked about it earlier, the control factor, and that's the thing that kind of like, I don't know if it doesn't bother me. It's like my mind's blown. It's not like he's unattractive. It's not like he doesn't have finances, money, or whatever situation may be. So you would think someone that has beauty, that has finances, and has fame wouldn't be that freaking insecure.
Well, when the girl talked about calling him daddy and you couldn't talk to anyone, and then he would give her pep talks before they had a threesome, and to film her, regular guys do that. You know what I mean? They want you to call them daddy.
Well, shit, most women do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're Latin. You know what I mean? It's just more the lines to kind of make their man feel even better during the act.
Right, but I never really thought about it before, until now. It's like you call him daddy and you shouldn't be fucking your daddy. You know what I mean? So that's kind of weird. I used to be into that. You know what I'm saying? But it's because nobody's taking the daddy role right now. I'm looking at it a different way. Ain't nobody my daddy. Ain't no, you know what I mean? So all those things add up. When you're growing up and you are talking, you're with somebody, you should know as a female not to come out and start talking to other guys. I knew that. I'm not, if I'm there with my man and his friends come in, I don't automatically just speak to them. They would have to address me. I'm not going to sit there and have a full conversation if two men are talking. Because you kind of, it's a thin line. You know what I mean? I think because something that's innocent and harmless can be taken further. You
right.
Start, you know what I mean? Because you're respectful. You're respectful of your man. You don't want to seem like you're trying to flirt with a guy. So you watch what you're saying. Or you watch, when it's a conversation that doesn't pertain to you, you keep your mouth shut.
Right.
But continuously doing that, it puts you in a different program. I really feel like I've had to reprogram some of my own thinking.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because it's the way we think. Whatever is going to make our man happy or make him proud of us, that's what we do.
Okay.
And a lot of times, though, that all goes with the control. It really does.
Well, they're doing a 3-night event where they got all these women. And if you have time to make sure you definitely check it out. We're going to definitely go in super depth next week when because I want to get an opportunity to read up more, especially about these individual women. And the thing about it is, you see, when you go and you look, you see they're all different complexions, they're all different cultures. So it's not like it was just one particular race or whatever situation we get. And, you had Sparkles in there, and, that, singer, and, her with her little feistiness. And, hey, you're going to tell me who I can and can't speak to, this and that. Do
men really want docile,
Some do.
women like that.
Some
I mean,
do.
because it's like y'all want us to be quiet all the time. You don't want us to, but doesn't that get boring if you have a woman that doesn't have any type of like self-dignity? It's like if we speak up for ourselves, we're just being unruly. Like we're not able to, know to stay in our place.
Right. I think in certain situations what we don't realize is because I recently ran into a situation where I had to like kind of like not physically but digging somebody's ass verbally and like who the fuck you talking to? They had to see that street side of me. This is a person who wife runs his life really like she's very this that like she one time she's like, why you driving slow? He sped up, he caught a ticket. And the next thing was like, why was you driving so fast? Right after she told him to drive fast.
Right.
So, and also, you have a person who doesn't have any control in their life.
Right.
So it gets to a point to where you are in a situation where you actually have some kind of control. It's like a little extra. Because it's the one place
that you're right.
You feel that you're in charge or that you can force your will because you're taking it from all these different angles.
This is why black women and black men are having such a hard time.
I don't think it's that.
Because they let girls, we're more educated, we go to college more, we get better jobs because they constantly want to break the black man. You know what I mean? So to have us be able to be the head of a household, and a man feels insecure about that. So the only way that he can really control us is by emotional, mental control.
I think I always say things start at the household. I think you have far so many women who are raised without fathers.
Right.
And you have women who are teaching their daughters to be super strong. The fact that they're not used to relinquishing some of that power to the man figure. Do you have men who feel they got to, you're the man of the house and you have to be in charge and this and that. But then you have some people who aren't willing to relinquish. To me personally, there is no such thing, I'm in charge. It's like, okay, there are things that I'm better at and there are things that you're better at. And obviously those things that you are better at, you need to take charge.
Right.
And vice versa for me, I need to take charge.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, that's how it should be. But you have so many people that feel that they don't want to, be the bitch in a relationship, female or not. So they feel they have to stand strong or be in charge. And this is not just in the black home. This is a lot of different cultures, especially Latin culture, who are like, oh my gosh, like, so where you at? Where you going? And the guy on my job, man, I listen to the stories he tells me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yes, it's a cultural thing too. So
it's sad that you have so many of those situations. But again, I always say if it's two individuals in the relationship, 2, 3, 4, I don't care what you into, but everyone needs to have a say or need to be strong at what they were. I always say, there are Indians and there's chiefs.
Right. And
you have to know when you're an Indian and when you're a chief. But you can't pour extra sauce on it to people can only take for so much shit.
Right.
No matter what it is. And, you're at job, you're in charge, but that doesn't mean you're a little extra with it because, the wife runs everything and anything that you do. You get paid, she gets the money, and she rations whatever else left out to you.
I mean, after all of this, wouldn't they be... for some reason, I don't think he's going to go to jail.
I mean, well, I haven't heard anything of a criminal. And that's why, I'm saying that we're going to do more research because we've been reading on it. But I want to go into more depth and more detail, and we'll definitely have that for you next week. But it's just more lines of that. I'm looking at it, and I'm like... That would be the first thing you hear. When you see a situation like that, you're looking at criminal charges, this and that. And this is why I start off with the whole finance things. And, the young lady said, okay, well, I knew the camera was there, but sometimes I was cool with it. But she's not saying I didn't want him to film me. Things. And like, that's what you say, I think, especially in upper echelon, money, people with money. just when they take you out on a date, you're signing a fucking disclosure. You know, like Chris Brown, when you go in certain people's houses, you're not allowed to go in the house with a cell phone.
Right.
You have to turn your phone in when you walk through the door.
Right.
So people that have that type of money that are intelligent, you know, they make sure people sign a lot of waivers and things like that. And, you know, when they were with them, I'm pretty sure he took care of them financially or whatever the situation may be. And to me, I look at certain things like that more of a kind of like a business arrangement deal type situation.
You know, it is. And at the end of the day, R. Kelly is still sitting there to himself saying, what the heck did I do wrong? Why are my girls turning on me? Why are they turning on me? Like, he's still not grasping the reality of what's going on.
Well, here's the thing. Is what he doing wrong? And this is what I'm saying from this standpoint. If you're allowing me to bring other people into the bedroom when we're together, if you're allowing me to film you, if you're allowing me to control. Now, what I haven't heard during these previews is where he, you know, knocks somebody upside the motherfucking head and say, sit there, don't talk to nobody. Now, verbal abuse is abuse. But I'm saying, like, I don't see the physicality of it. You're going to do what I tell you to do.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if someone's trying to feed me broccoli, I don't eat broccoli, nigga. I'm going to say something. So for you to sit there and take it, was it the fame? Was it the money? Was it the gifts? What made you stay there if you were feeling uncomfortable? If you felt that what you were doing was wrong, or whenever it hit you, whether it was a couple of weeks, a couple of months, why did you continue to stay?
Right. And we'll get to that next week.
Definitely.
So I just want to leave us with 7 habits of happy people. 1, don't show off. 2, talk less. 3, learn daily. 4, help less fortunate people. 5, laugh more. 6, ignore nonsense. And 7, don't feel that you have entitlement to anything and everything.
Where'd that come from?
So we're going on to that was by Warren Buffett.
Okay, nice.
So we're trying to be prosperous this year. You know, be more deliberate and diligent in what we're trying to do. So join the movement. It's Truth Vibe Media. See you next Friday.
Peace out, y'all. We're going to have some fun. Thanks again for checking in. Again, we just wanted to, you know, give y'all something real quick when you see y'all.
Yeah, we just wanted to pop, 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 pop.
Almost said so.
It was short. We just want to pop that cherry real fast.
Just have a little fun.
Yeah.
But again, more topics and other things. We're going to get more into detail. But again, we wanted to touch bases with y'all the new year, let you know a lot of things are coming up and have some fun. So we'll see y'all next week.
Yes,
it's been a pleasure. Peace out.
Thank you.